Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. This one is going to be about videos, uploading videos, processing videos, displaying videos, everything videos, and this is going to be a multi-part mini series because I'm currently working on a big episode. I want to try out a new format, but that's a secret for now, so hush, you didn't hear me say that. So as always, this is going to be part of the file uploads videos. This is available on GitHub. Link is in the description. Today we are going to be looking at how to set up your project for enabling video processing. And the episodes are basically gonna uh, take you step by step in increasing user experience when uploading videos. As you know, videos are large, it takes time to upload them, and you don't want to be sitting around waiting. All right, so and I'm gonna show you a few caveats, and this is the first thing that we're actually gonna tackle. But let's go ahead and dive into this. So I have my startup. I have my static files enabled with MVC, the default stuff. If you don't know how to upload files yet, watch my previous episodes. They cover some basics. I then have my home controller where I just have my index and where I upload my file, and I just save it as file.mp4 and I save it to there. All right. So another thing, I have my hosting environment. So I'm going to be saving my files to the www root folder. Okay. And then on my homepage, I just have a form where I accept my MP4s and I'm displaying an MP4. So let's go ahead and see this. So simple little application. Let's select a video, open it, submit it, and there it is. Now that's fine and dandy. One thing I'd like to point out is that that was a small video. Now, when you're going to be working with videos, the first problem you're going to run into is that phones today are very, very, very advanced and they can actually film 4K. I'm doing quotation marks, but yeah, they can do 4K. And I have one video that happens to be 4K right here. I'm going to go ahead and upload it and see what happens. And Brushka, right? So regular HTML5 players, they do not support 4K, and basically this is what's going to happen. Your application is just not going to upload these videos, right? There can be also a plethora of other formats that your users can upload, and you cannot. Basically, it's not ideal if you go and tell them, right, you can only upload MP4s that are under 30 megabytes. That is a terrible user experience, and your users are going to be rejecting whatever platform you've built, right? So as you can see here, frame width is almost 4K, frame height is 2K, and for like 4 or 5 seconds, I have 20 megabytes, right? So even though it's a relatively small video, it is still not being able to display just because of the sheer size of it, right? So this is the first problem that we're going to be tackling, and if you're aware of this technology, of this software called FFmpeg, it's open source. It's basically open source video editing software. All right. So what we're going to be using is a wrapper for a ffmpeg executable, right? So ffmpeg can have an executable, and you can use it in the command line. We are going to be using a wrapper, which is essentially like a little box in which ffmpeg goes, and then we are calling functions on that box, and that box does all the hard work for us. So you don't actually need to know ffmpeg, you just need to read the documentation for this package. So the package is called xabe.ffmpeg. Let's go in the NuGet packager. I already have it installed and ready. So xabe.ffmpeg. I will leave a link for the documentation in the description. It is a little bit, I'd say it's not the best documentation I have read, but it is enough to sort of get a feel around for what you can do. So once I have that installed, I'm going to go into my controller, and down here, I'm going to go ahead and say public async task. I'm going to just return a boolean here. I'm going to import system.threading, and I'm just going to say convert video. Okay, I'm going to just return a boolean here. Okay, so what I want to do in here, I want to basically do my conversion. That's why I will call it convert video, right? So let me take this path right here, and I'm going to call this input, and I'm going to create another variable. I'm going to call it output, and I'm going to change the name to converted, right? And the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in the ffmpeg class in here. So this is going to be a singleton, and here I want to set the executables path to point to where my ffmpeg executable is located. Now, let's go ahead and say path.combine. Let's again just say dir, and I'm going to say that it's going to be in the ffmpeg folder. So I'm going to have to go into my www root. I'm going to have to create my ffmpeg folder. Okay, now we have to get the executables, okay? So let's go ahead and type in ffmpeg into the browser and click the first link, and this is basically the homepage for the ffmpeg. Now, where we want to go into the download section. We want to click on Windows if you're on Windows. If you're on Linux, I'm gonna assume you know what you're doing. If you're on Mac, I'm also gonna assume you know what you're doing. But if you're on Windows, go on Build, and what you want to get is the latest version, Windows 64-bit static. I'm gonna leave links for all of this in the description, and just download Build. So once that is downloaded, open it up. Then the next step is not to pay for WinRAR. Open up this bin folder. Okay, and here you can say we have ffmpeg, ffplay, and ffprobe. And if we go into this this ffmpeg class and we look at the constructor, it says right here that initialize new ffmpeg, search for ffmpeg and ffprobe in path. Right, so whatever path we specify right here. So in this path, it's going to look for ffmpeg and ffprobe. Okay, so the easiest way to get into this folder is just to click on this folder and press Ctrl C. That's going to copy the path, and then we're going to press extract to, paste the path into here, and then press OK. All right, close this, and here are our executables. Nice. So we got our executables. I'd keep all three of them. Don't remove, even though it says only ffmpeg and ffprobe, keep ffplay in there as well. It won't hurt you unless you are fighting for size. As basically the reason I'm saying that is because it might be a dependency for some sort of commands, but generally just keep it there. Don't mess with it or it will explode. Okay, so the next thing, the general, if you're new to coding, if you're not too experienced, you're just following along, and you have a question in your head like, where is he getting? How does he know this command? You have to go and read the documentation. It explains you how to access these methods. And so the next thing we want to do is we want to bring up the media info class, and we want to say get, and we want to say get input. All right, and we're passing in our input. So what this is going to do is it's going to get the information of our video from this path right here, right? So whichever file we have uploaded and saved here, it's going to get the information of that file. So let's go ahead and say info equals here, and the green squiggly lines there basically meant that it's an async method. So we're going to go ahead and type in await. Let's go ahead and then go into the info, and let's get the video streams, and let's get the first one there. So I'm gonna have to import the link for this. So once I have the first video stream, I'm gonna go ahead and set size, and in here I will have to pass in a class that is expecting. So F12, let's go in here, and video size. Let's copy this class, let's paste it into here, and let's import it. And then I'm going to say HD 480. And another thing, I want to set the codec. So what set the codec does is essentially sets the codec for the video, and the most widely used video codec is H.264, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and use that. I'm gonna close that off. All right. And what I want to do is I want to store this in a variable. So let's go ahead and call this video stream. Next thing we want to do is we want to bring up a class called conversion. All right, and what conversion does is kicks off the conversion of the video, right? So we're going to create a new conversion. We're going to add a stream, and this is going to be our video stream. All right, we're going to set the output wherever we want to output our file, right? So it has to know where to write this file. And then we're going to just start the process. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Again, it is a green squiggly lines. This is an asynchronous method. So let's go ahead and do that. And instead of returning bool, I'm actually going to just return true here. Let's wrap this all in a try catch. So in case we get any errors, we can fix them. And let's console. I don't have a system path, so let's import it here. Console.writeLine e.message. I'm going to put a breakpoint here. Okay. So let me double check that I don't have any files here. I do not. Now I just have to call convert video. I'm going to call it after I have saved here. I'll have to call await, and I'll have to make this method asynchronous. And let's go ahead and say copy to async as well here. Just why not? Okay, so I have the breakpoint here pointing to. All right, looks good. Let's go ahead and see this work. I'm gonna launch the application. Okay, so again, I'm gonna take the UHD file. I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna submit it. So the upload now is taking a little bit longer than before because your computer is working on processing the file. On video processing, if you have ever worked with video editing software, it takes a while. Okay, so the video here as well is basically same as before. That's because it's still pointing to file.mp4 and we haven't hit the exception point. So I'm gonna be assuming this has worked, and there we have the converted.mp4. And I'm gonna go ahead and change the name to converted.mp4. Give this a refresh. And there we can see the video is loaded, it's working, it's seekable, and all is good. All right, so hopefully this was a informable little introduction to working videos in .NET Core. In the following videos, we're going to go ahead and increase the user experience, allowing them to trim the video and make it a little bit more streamlined, so they don't have to wait for the video upload and video conversion before they can carry on their daily life. All right. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I have many more cool videos coming up. If you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment. If you enjoyed this video, also leave a comment. I love hearing your feedback. Now, as always, see you in the next episode.